Hey y'all, I know I'm late. Y'all were waiting. Some of y'all actually sent me messages, so I feel really grateful. If you hear my voice, I don't feel very well. I worked my ass off this weekend. It's Notre Dame home game, and I I was working. So, did I actually watch tonight's episode? No, I just looked up the highlights, and I didn't even watch the live feeds or anything. I haven't even watched Big Brother After Dark. I got home uh, at 3:20 this morning from my job. So, and then I had to be somewhere at 11. So I didn't have much sleep. So I've been sleeping most of the day. And as you can hear, maybe you can't, maybe you can. I don't feel very well. So I do apologize for not coming here right afterwards. But I needed some time to look some stuff up about what went on over the weekend and what this episode was going to be about. And unfortunately, what I read, what I found out, it's just a bunch of same old, same old. You got Tyler winning HOH. Apparently, he barely beat Haley, but barely beating Haley is still beating Haley. And so he won power and he decided to go after Haley and Scotty. And I mean, it's the best move at this point. Level six really doesn't have to be, quiet. They'll always have the numbers moving. Well, I wouldn't say always, but they have the numbers moving forward. And I doubt very highly that anyone is going to try and take them on. Anyone's going to try and betray them. Because once JC and Sam know the truth about level six, JC may be extremely upset, but it's over. He built his own grave. And my thing is going to the JC thing, because Blake, you said that people are going to start catching on the JC. They already have. They think so little of him that they don't think he's a threat. That may come back to bite them. Who knows? But going back to that comment about JC building his own grave, at the very beginning, his a reasoning for targeting certain people was to ensure there was a balance in the house. He wanted to ensure that there was a balance so that way one side does not become too powerful. Yet week after week, he went with this one side and he duped them over and over in hopes of getting them out of the house, not realizing where he stood with everybody else on his side of the house. So now JC, he essentially played the game for other people. And when he finds out that he got used, he's going to be extremely upset. Hey Lance, are you saying dang to what I just said? Or are you saying dang to me coming up on so late? Jay-Z is no one's number one target right now. However, what he was talking about with Brett and Tyler, he oh, I'm sorry, Lance, but what he was talking about with Brett and Tyler, that's going to certainly come around to the other people in the house, and he's going to become someone's target. JC won't admit to himself right now that he's been used, but once he gets out of the house and he starts talking to the jury, he's gonna come to terms with it real quick and be like, "Yo, you played their game. They had no respect for you because they honestly they really don't. If they can look at him and say, you know what, he's talking shit about us, but what is he gonna do? That right there is counting him out. And I understand that, things were mentioned about him and his height, but Bailey realized who he was. Bailey was able to say his height doesn't matter. He's still a dangerous player. The other people who he calls friends, who he calls allies, view his height as a handicap and think less of him for it. I am psychoanalyzing. Do I know this for a fact? Of course not. But all the signs lead to that. The fact that his entire side doesn't see him as anything, any sort of threat, when the other side clearly did, lets us know as audience members how little they think of him. But someone said something and I totally missed it because I was talking. Let's see. Blake, you and I disagree on that. I personally think that JC is a phenomenal player. And had he been a little bit taller, I firmly believe he would have been taken out earlier because people would have viewed him as a mastermind because he is very analytical. He's able to move his chess pieces where he needs to. He's able to lie convincingly to the people he needs to lie to. If he had chosen the Faute side. I said this before and I'll say it again. I believe the Faute side would have been in a much better shape, that level 6 would have been gone. That's just me personally. But cuz JC has done so much for level 6 and his reward is going to be a nice stab in the back. But that's Big Brother. That's good Big Brother. Uh but at the same time, it is what it is. I mean, you can't really, be too upset about it. Do I believe that JC's getting what's coming to him? Yeah, you lie so many times in the Big Brother house. It's bound to, you know, I personally believe that JC isn't a huge threat, not because of his height, it's because of his language barrier. I've said this before as well that JC has been handicapped several times due to the fact that his native tongue isn't English. So he's got to think twice as hard. And I've talked to my friends back home who've been brought up to speak a different language, how hard is it to read everything in English? And sometimes they say they've got to double read some things because they are always constantly thinking in Spanish or thinking in what I don't know what language he speaks, but speaking or thinking in a different language because it's just hard for them sometimes. And for there to be word scrambles or word this or word that, when they first look at it, they automatically think in their native tongue, which isn't English. And so the hacker comps, I'm sorry, he was never going to win those. The competition where you've got to unscramble words, he was never going to win that. So there are competitions. There were no competitions catered to him. The slide competition, that was something that he couldn't do. His stride is literally half, maybe even less than that of Fessie's and Scotty's. There was no way he was going to be able to compete. There are certain competitions that were designed for certain players, and none of the competitions so far were designed for him. That's just how it goes. When he's got to lift something that's the same size as him, he may be strong, but it obstructs your view. He's got to maneuver that whole veto competition where you put the tracks together. There was no way he was going to win that. No way. His stride's too small. He can't lift nearly as much. It's just too much. JC, in my opinion, never really should have been cast for this season because they catered to too many tall people. They had too many tall people in that house. You had Swaggy, you have Brett, you've got Fessy, and you've got Scotty. Those are four really tall dudes. The competitions were catered more towards them and the taller women. But oh well, I mean, you know what you're signing up for when you sign the contract that you're going to be on TV. You can make a fool of yourself. You can be mistreated or mislabeled, but you can't do anything about it. But you said something, Blake, and I totally missed it. What did you say? JC could not have spelled any of those words even if they weren't scrambled. Probably, but again, Blake, is because he doesn't know English very well. Because when they were talking about yin and yang, his accent, his native tongue kept calling it jing and jang, and he just it doesn't get it. Yin yang, believe it or not, is the English version of whatever it's supposed to be. Because I think it's like yin and yang or something in its native tongue. And our language, believe it or not, or should I say English, is extremely complicated when it comes to learning it for the first time. So much so that people that have been speaking it for years don't even know how to speak it. I will go off on a tangent about that, but that's neither here nor there. That's something that I'm not going to digress on because it burns me up so much how people just don't understand English. Whatever. But anyway, y'all, I don't work Wednesday, so I should be fine to watch the veto episode. I know who won veto already. JC said Spanish is harder to learn than English. There are a lot of Spanish speakers who would disagree with that, but and there's a lot of people that for me learning Spanish is relatively easy because it's straightforward. In Spanish, they've got different words for everything. In English, we've got homonyms. Yeah, I'm still live. We've got homonyms, and homonyms are like Spanish speakers' worst nightmare. So I don't know. Oh wait, don't tell anyone, Lance. Don't tell anyone who won the veto. I haven't told anybody. I said I knew who won, but I didn't tell anybody who did. But yeah, that person ended up winning veto. Boo! You ruined it. Oh well, it's a live show. If you want to get anything spoiled, just look online or watch Big Brother After Dark or watch the live feeds. Casey won the veto, y'all. I said it. Don't worry about it, Lance. I just told everybody. So anyone who watches this video now is going to see that Casey won the power of veto. Oh well, yeah. And so right now everyone's like, so it's gonna be no, you're fine, Lance. So now everyone's gonna be like, so this is nothing more than a repeat week. And I told everybody if Scotty or Haley doesn't win the HOH, it's gonna be a repeat week. And it was. Oh well. Scotty's gonna end up going back to the jury house because I don't feel like Casey and Angela are going to evict Haley over Scotty. I just don't see it. And it all boils down to JC and Brett because Sam has never been Team Haley and she felt really bad for evicting Scotty. So if JC and Brett decide to evict Haley and Sam does too, Scotty will stay, which will give Scotty a better chance of winning HOH. Do I believe that Scotty has a better chance of winning HOH than Haley? Absolutely, especially with the competitions they have coming up, because they're going to have a lot more endurance comps, and Scotty's much more suited to those than Haley is. But someone asked about double eviction. It's coming up soon. They usually have it so that way it goes from six to four people. No, 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 I lied. When it goes from seven to five people. Do I believe that I'd be a better jury member? I honestly would have to say no, because I know going into the game that it is a game. Do I take things personally? Yes. So if someone were to do something to me that is extremely hurtful and it's not game related, so say I'm in the house, right? And someone's constantly calling me a nigger or a faggot. I would take that personally. That's not game related. If they ended up in final two, would I think less of them for that? Absolutely. But I've got to set that shit aside and say, though this person has been very racist and homophobic towards me, did they play a better game than the person they're sitting next to? I would like to think that I could do that. I mean, I've done stuff like that before in real life when people have been discriminating or have used derogatory terms to me. I have let it go. I don't want to be that kind of person where it's like, well, you're an ignorant ass, so I'm going to, one up you by hurting you in the end. I don't know. I am from South Bend, Indiana. The reason why I feel like this reason why it took me so long to make this video is because yeah, it was Notre Dame's home game that destroyed. I don't feel very well. My voice is all messed up. I had pizza for dinner 2 nights in a row, y'all. I don't eat pizza. Like I'm sorry. That's just a no from Kyrie. I just can't do it. It's gross. I don't like cheese. I tried to avoid dairy, but it was free and it was available and I was starving. I just got done eating like 3 pieces and I feel so bad. But if you see over there in the background, I'm not sure if you can see it, with my couch full of junk, there's a cycle back there. I'm gonna get on my bike and I'm gonna pedal that cheese away because there's no way in hell. I'm sorry, that shit is not attaching itself to my hips anytime soon. um, but anyway, this is going on 14 minutes. There's really nothing to report. It's gonna be a very boring week. Big Brother After Dark's very boring. It's that time of the season, y'all. It's until level six is facing level six. There's not gonna be anything worth to talk about. Oh, I am from South Bend, Indiana. Did you get it that time? I'm sorry. I don't know. Like, yeah, see y'all Wednesday. Bye, Lance. I'm not sure if it cut out or whatever for everybody, but I'm from South Bend, Indiana. I don't know if I'm looking forward to the jury footage. I honestly, I don't know. Maybe they'll talk to each other. Maybe Fessy will talk to them and see what's going on. But I feel like the jury's house is nothing going to be nothing more than a party. There's going to be no drama. Nothing's going to happen because all you're going to be getting is Scotty and then Haley, and then all of the hive is going to be in the jury house. And then they're going to start comparing notes and be like, okay, so JC was doing this. JC's going to show up. And then, oh, so it's your fault. And then Sam's going to show up. Oh, so what's going on? And I think Sam's going to be a bitter jury. Talk about bitter jurors. Sam is going to be a bitter jurist, whatever, juror. JC probably. So who would JC feel the most betrayed by? Tyler, absolutely. Let me see. What are you saying? I usually work during Notre Dame games, but if I'm going to be honest with you, I don't watch football. I find football to be so boring. I find most sports boring. I play dodgeball. Dodgeball's not a sport. Can't wait for JC to show up to the Big Brother house. I don't think they're going to evict Tyler. Everyone has got a final two deal with Tyler. And when I think everyone's going to feel the most betrayed by. I don't think Fessel's going to feel the most betrayed by JC. I feel like everyone knew where JC's head was at. You're not offending me any. I have no stake in football, Blake. I'm not a big Notre Dame football fan either. I'll talk to y'all for days about college football or college sports in general and how I feel about them because I feel like they work so hard, destroy their bodies, and they see little from it. People are all like, "Oh, they get their tuition paid for." Yeah, a couple hundred or a couple $1,000, $100,000 maybe, but you've got professional athletes getting paid hundreds of millions to destroy their bodies. These are young people right out of high school that, though they're getting a free ride from in college, they are destroying themselves, giving themselves permanent damage, and they don't have anything to show for it. Once they get out of school, are they going to have an NFL? Are they going to have an NBA? Are they going to have any sort of professional career? The answer is most likely no. So for people to say that college athletes don't deserve to get a stipend, they don't deserve to get a cut from the money they make for their school, I think that's wrong personally, but you can have your opinion. That's just mine. I digressed. I'm sorry. Let me go. It's going on 18 minutes. Tomorrow's Labor Day. You can have a very fun Labor Day if you want. I'm going to be at work. Like this video, share this video, and don't be upset if I am a little bit late on Wednesday. I doubt I will be, but I should be here on Wednesday. Wait, let's see. Hold on for a minute. Oh, Blake, you said it's their dream and they do it to possibly make the pros. Yeah, I agree with you. However, a little something in the hand at the beginning during college wouldn't hurt. Just saying. Bye, y'all.